picture the scene. Laban has come thundering through the wilderness. He has overtaken Jacob and his family, and he is in a rage. He accuses Jacob's clan of having stolen his idols, and Jacob is so convinced that his family is innocent, he says, if you find the idols in one of these tents, you can kill the person responsible for taking them. And so Laban begins to search. First, he tears through his daughter Leah's tent. He does not find them. He goes into Rachel's tent, where she demurely is sitting on a cushion. He looks through everything, and he still has not found them. He stands in front of Rachel, and he says, "Get up." She looks at him, and she bats her pretty eyes, and she says, "I can't get up. I have my period." And that's literally what the text tells us, right? Oh, I just can't right now. Now, the Be'er Mayim Chaim, he says, Laban is the archetype of the con man, the trickster. And so he looks down at his daughter and he says, "Who do you think taught you how to lie, kid? Get up." Let's take a closer look at the text. In chapter 31, verses 34 through 35, Rachel, meanwhile, had taken the idols and placed them in the camel cushion and sat on them. And Laban rummaged through the tent without finding them. For she said to her father, "Let not my lord take it amiss that I cannot rise before you, for the period of women is upon me." Thus he searched, but could not find the household idols. The scene ends with the Torah reassuring us that he still didn't find the idols. So if we imagine the scene again, he drags her to her feet, he lifts up the cushion, and the idols aren't there. What on earth happened to them? We have to turn to the Midrash for an answer. The Midrash is a collection of stories about our stories. When we reach places in the Torah that we say, well, that's a little odd or mysterious for the text to tell us that he still didn't find them in Rachel's tent because we know she's sitting right on top of them, the Midrash comes along to explain what happened. And so here is what happened according to Genesis Rabbah. When he lifted the cushion, he saw not idols, but ladles. That's right, I had to look up in the dictionary thinking surely I had misunderstood what I was reading. I said, really, maybe there's another obscure meaning for this word. What can this mean? I actually had to do a little bit of research, and here's what it turns out. In ancient times, ladles, often at the handle, had a carving of a deity, probably because they were used for libations of oil, water, and wine. And what the Midrash is coming to tell us is that the idols, which are carved figures of deities, turned into ladles, as if to mock Laban and say, yeah, you didn't find the idols, but boy, did they used to be here. Why did Rachel take her father's idols in the first place? It seems to have really made him angry and endangered her family. What was she thinking? Well, the ancient commentators divide into three categories about why she might have decided to do this. The first is she wanted to take a little bit of Haran, her home, with her to Canaan, to her husband's home. And so maybe like a college kid brings something precious with them from home, she brought her father's household idols. The second genre of commentary says she was trying to get Laban to quit his habit of idol worship, and so like a child stealing its parents' cigarettes, she took the idols with her. And the third genre of commentary says, actually, the idols were powerful and had the ability, bless you, to point Laban in the right direction, and if the family was running away from Laban, she did not want to leave the idols behind to tell him which way to go. But I'd like to suggest a fourth reason why she took her father's idols. She wanted to hurt him. He had created a love triangle in her life, by marrying her beloved Jacob off to her sister Leah. And now for the rest of her life, her husband's attentions must be divided between his 2 wives, not to mention 2 concubines. And because of his scheming, her life became more complicated than it needed to be. Furthermore, we're told by the text a few times how often Lavan cheated her husband Jacob out of his wages again and again to delay their leaving and going to his home in Canaan. I don't think she really was thinking when she took the idols. I think she was just mad. She wasn't thinking about the fact that she actually might stir up a family feud, that he would pursue them. It's a natural impulse to harm those who have hurt us. But it only exacerbates the situation, and more often than not, the person who gets hurt the most when we give in to that impulse for revenge is ourselves or other people that we love. Maybe God kept Lavan from finding the idols, not so much to keep Lavan from worshiping them or to protect Rachel from her father's wrath, but as a way of bringing about shalom bayit, peace in the home, peace in the family. God ended the downward spiral of revenge. And I wonder how both father and daughter felt when Lavan lifted up the cushion and the idols had miraculously transformed into ladles. Were they surprised? Maybe a little disappointed? Maybe a little relieved? #family drama, right? God was successful in bringing peace to the family. The very next thing that happens in the story is Jacob and Lavan make their pact, and they agree to go their separate ways. Maybe they didn't part warmly, but they agreed not to hurt each other anymore. And this parsha provides an opportunity for all of us to ask ourselves, have there been moments in our lives of divine intervention that turned our idols into ladles? Will we recognize those small miracles in the future that bring peace? Will we acknowledge them with gratitude? And will we let our behavior be corrected and maintain the peace? Shabbat Shalom.